Oh, g'day, champions. It's bloody catch-up time, isn't it? I haven't done a non-alcoholic beverage review for Dry July for about a week now. Just haven't felt like making videos and been way too busy to. Plus, every time I put a video up not related to the usual channel content, I notice I get about 3 or 4 people unsubscribing. Isn't that charitable of them? Anyway, we don't need those people here. My channel's always been sort of meandering content. Get used to it because I'm a meandering kind of guy. So, word got out about the video reviews to Dry July. Actually, I sent it to Dry July and said, no, have a look at these videos. You might be able to share them around as if people are looking for inspiration for stuff to drink other than alcohol. And they passed it on to Lyres. They are Lyres, but Lyres spelled like a lyrebird. And they sent me a little care package, the champions. I'm not sure if they're a sponsor or whatever of the Dry July Foundation, but they sent me 2 bottles and 2 4-packs. So I've got 2 pre-mixed here and two bottles. Now, they're in the little cardboard packaging, which is reminiscent of opening a whiskey bottle, which I'm looking very much forward to after July's over. I'll do my usual post-July spending splurge on nice single malts. So we've got Lyre's Traditional Reserve. Now, I believe this is supposed to be like a rum. I might be wrong there. Traditional Reserve. Generally, when it says reserve, that's like a rum thing. It mentions meticulously crafted homage to timeless classic. Is an exquisite melange of the finest flavours, evoking notes of the finest grains, toffees, peats, and oaks throughout the delish. So maybe that might be like a Scotch whiskey wannabe. There's a few little floaties in there. I'm not sure what that's about, but I hope they don't think they're getting a glowing review. It's honest reviews only here at Brad's Guitar Garage. People hate me for it, but I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I didn't do it. And we've also got white cane spirits. I'm assuming this is supposed to be a white rum. They're kind of a bit vague about what they're supposed to be because they're trying to avoid, like, I guess they're trying to avoid false advertising issues. But we're all set up here. We're having a little party. Got my glasses. Got some ice to try it with some ice. I've even got my palate cleanser. A little bit of coffee beans. Oh, that smells good. I'm going to have a coffee after all this. So, let's start with the light ones. We'll start with the Lyre's G&T, Gin and Tonic. Overexposed. So, yeah, it's supposed to be a gin and tonic. We'll just try that. It's just out of the fridge, so it's nice and cool. No colour to speak of. Just looks like lemonade so far. Well, just check the sugar content because that's pretty important. If you're trying to lose weight and not drink alcohol, it doesn't make sense to put a gut ton of sugar in your guts, does it? So this one, a small little can, what is it? 250 ml, and it's got bloody 12.8 grams of sugar in it. But that's 5%, so that's less than your average soft drink, but still, I wouldn't call it like a diet drink. So it's got the tonic water smell. You know, that's not bad. If you have tonic water by itself, it can be a little bit overpowering. But there is something in there hitting the back of the throat a little bit like the gin does. Obviously, like, you know, when I make a gin, I use like the Navy strength 4 pillars and mix it at like 30%, but it doesn't quite hit like that, but nothing does. You know what? That is passable. That's pretty good with a bit of lime on top. That'd be great. Sometimes I do just drink tonic water by itself. I like very astringent, hard-hitting tastes. But that passes. I'm going to give that out of 10. In terms of a gin and tonic, about 1 nip of... imagine that's got 1 nip of gin in it. That's about what it tastes like strength-wise in comparison. I'm going to give that a 7.5 out of 10. I do like gin and tonics. Generally, I use either the Hendrix or the 4 Pillars. dry London style gin. The next one we've got is Lyre's Amalfi Spritz. So I guess this is supposed to be a what's the Italian thing? I can't remember the name off the top of my head. I can't remember. What is it now? Let me just Google it. Hang on. Italian Spritz. Italian Spritz. Aperol. Yeah, so I think it's supposed to be that. Having said that, I haven't had that for so long, I sort of can't remember what it smells and tastes like. That's, so it's got like a deep orange, almost pinky orange look to it. Almost like a rosé colour. It's almost, it almost tastes, I haven't tasted it yet. It almost smells like Southern Comfort. It's not bad. It's almost like a, yeah, grapefruit. It's got grape juice, not grapefruit. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, it's good. It's not offensive. It's not too sweet. But however, this one's got 6.5% sugar, so 16.2 grams of sugar just in that tiny little can. So that's not fantastic. But hey, you know, you got to trade off somewhere, don't you? So let's put them aside. Cleanse our palate a little bit with a sniff of coffee. I'll just pretend that's whiskey. So let's try the lighter one first. We'll try the white cane spirit. Now, I have tried their gin a couple of years ago. I think it was 2 years ago in the dry July, and I was not impressed. But nothing compares with a real gin, really. And I don't think we should realistically expect anything to without the alcohol content. So I'll give it the benefit of the doubt if I can figure out how to open it. Is this a twist top? Oh, yeah, it is a twist top, but it was the metal bit spinning on top. All right, I won't sniff the bottle because that's a bit uncouth. I don't know, I'll put about as much as you'd expect. It's like almost like toffee. It's got an essence of oak in it. You can smell that they've put something. It's probably like one of those when you make your spirits at home and you put the oak chips in it or whatever. It is a bit woody, almost a hint of sort of tequila-y type smells. Pretty watery. Not very strong flavour-wise. Like, I've got that bubble in my throat voice, sorry. Yeah, I suppose you can't really amp up the flavour too much before people will have one sip and think it's horrible, but you'd expect that it would be almost too strong to have just by itself if it was going to actually make an impact, but I don't think it tastes like rum. It tastes okay, and it's good for if you don't like the bubbly stuff. Let's just have a block of ice in there or two. I got my little ice thing and everything. Yeah, it's like a little party here with all my mates. Oh, hearing the clink clink of the glass, you can almost shut your eyes and fool yourself you're having something worthwhile. No. This is actually not bad. After a couple of sips, the oakiness gives a bit of almost like a slight chili-like burn in the back of the throat, which is good. They've tried to simulate that spirit's burn, but it tastes like... That tastes almost like just really watered down white rum. Like if you had a nip of that with about... Well, it doesn't compare with the alcohol, but it just tastes like when you've had a nip of rum with quite a bit of, like the rest of that filled up with water. You know what it's like? It's almost like the Japanese highballs, but a rum version. Yeah, that's not bad. I know that it's worth 40 bucks a bottle. That's my main issue with this. They're not paying the duties with alcohol. So why is it so damn expensive? Well, it's not for me because I got it for free, but, you know, that's the joy of being BGG, brother. But you'd imagine most of the cost of alcohol, at least in Australia, is tax and you know, they don't have to pay that because there's no alcohol in it. So you'd imagine that it'd be a lot cheaper, but it's not so much. Anyway, let's move on to this one. Oh, yeah, that is trying to be a Scotch. It's reminiscent of a very oaky rum cask Scotch that I've had, and it was one of my favourites actually. So this is promising. And that's Scotch. Oh no, sorry, I can't say it's Scotch because it's from America. It's from Portland, Oregon, in the US, and it's Westwood Caribbean rum cask. That's actually pretty promising. I'll put a bit more in there, just so the ice doesn't overpower it when I put it in. It's very oaked. And again, they've tried to simulate that burn in your throat with it. It tastes like there's a little bit of capsaicin or chili or something in that. And that's how they've simulated the burn. Stabilizer. That's actually got agave syrup. Maybe that's what's given the sort of slight spikiness at the back of the throat. Hard to tell. It's got sodium benzoate though. That's where the flavour's at. So I'll have a drop of ice in there. I didn't score the last 3 drinks. For fuck's sake, I'm useless. It's actually not bad. That tastes... If you had that with soda water... I just fired up the soda stream, but it's in the fridge. If you had that with some, like, pretty strong, but with soda, you could fool yourself into thinking that's a whiskey highball, I reckon. Just after 10 of them, you could still walk out of the house and not fall on your face. As fun as that is. So I reckon that they're both the same score, sort of the same vibe, but just slightly different flavours. Look, for what they are, they're good, but you can't compare them with whiskey, right? So if I was to compare them with actual whiskey, that'd be like a 1 out of 10, right? But if you're comparing it with, well, you're weighting it for non-alcoholic wannabe spirits, I'm going to give that about a 6.5 out of 10. I'm going to give that a 6 out of 10. The White Cane Spirit. And as for the Amalfi Spritz, because I don't really know what the one that's trying to be tastes like, I don't know, I'll give that a 6 out of 10. They're all pretty pleasant. Nothing's offensive. When I tried the gin one, I was not holding out much hope when they sent me this stuff, because the gin one back then, I think they've changed the formula since, but it tasted like morning fresh in water. Essentially washing up detergent. And I was not impressed. But, you know, they might have changed it by now. I've heard they've changed it now and it's a bit different, but you're not supposed to drink the gin by itself. You could drink them by themselves, and that'd be acceptable and kind of nice. So, I don't know. Cheers, champions. And please feel free to donate. It's right here. I'm not going to bother you for much longer. What I might do is jam a bunch in. I'll do four reviews in one day. 2 or 3 or 4 in one day, so I'm not smashing so many videos out there, because people are clearly getting the shits about them and unsubscribing. So, you know, I don't want to get rid of my whole customer base just because I'm trying to raise some money for charity, but by the same token, they've got to understand that you've got to make some sacrifices for this, and I've done about as good as I can to keep it entertaining, given time frame of minus 10 minutes. Anyway, enough whinging from me. I'll catch you on the next one. Donate here, and I will love you eternally. Platonically.